Hello teacher, my name is Josue Quiña and I'm going to talk about the FCE exam reading, the parts number 1 and number 2. Okay, as we can see here, the part number 1, for questions from 1 to 8, read the text below and decide which answer A, B, C or D best fits each gap. Okay, as we can see here, the part 1 is composed by a text, and there is next to the text 4 options that we have to choose the correct answer to fits each gap. Okay, as a tip, I'm going to recommend that read the whole text before you are going to choose the answer. Read the title, what is genealogy in this case. It will help you. And also, if you see there are in the options two options, there are two options, what they have the same meaning, neither can be the correct answer. Okay, so in summary, read the whole text and choose the best answer. It's easy. There is the options that you are going to choose, and there is the part number 2. For questions from 9 to 16, read the text below and think of the word which best fits each gap. Use only one word in each gap. Okay, as we can see here, the part number 2 is similar to the part number 1, but in this case we have to think about the answer. Okay, I'm going to give you the same tips, but in this case you are going to read the sentence in each space. For example, I work a motorbike stunt rider. Okay, in this case we have to think about the word what we are going to put in each gap. Also, for recommendation, I'm going to say that try not to use abbreviations and write in the right space the answer. Try not to trespass to the other words and read the whole text and think about the answer. Okay? So, thank you.
Hello, my name is Brian Rivera and I am going to talk about part 3 of IPSI reading test. In this part, there are 8 spaces that we must fill with adjectives, nouns, verbs, and adverbs. You need to know the negative verbs of these words. In the worksheet, we'll see a text with 8 spaces to fill, and next to the text, there will be words involved that we must analyze to complete the correct form in the blank spaces. The main tips that are it is not an exercise to match words in the blanks. The main words used are nouns and adjectives. Okay, then we have the part 4 of the easy reading test. In this part, it is called word formation, and it is now one of the most difficult parts in the test. In this session, we need to develop our knowledge of grammar and vocabulary. In the worksheet, that will be a sentence with a quick word to change the sentence, keeping in the meaning. The main tips are a sentence must be complete between 2 or 5 words. The keyword should be always used and should not be changed. Contractions are taken as 2 words. And finally, answers should be written in capital letters. Thank you.
Good morning, teacher. My name is Gabriel Baca, and for this part, I'm going to talk about part 5 and part 6 of the FCE reading exam. So we have that we are going to read an extract from a novel in which a young woman called Caitlin talks about her life on an island. So for questions 31 to 36, we are going to choose the answer A, B, C, or D, which we are going to think what fits best according to the text. So here we have that we have to mark our answers on the separate answer sheet. So here we have the text. So we have to read the text, and after that we are going to solve the questions and answer it. And after that we have part 6, in which we are going to read a newspaper article in which a former ballet dancer talks about the physical demands of the job. So 6 sentences have been removed from the article, and we are going to choose the sentences A to G, the one which fits each gap. So there's one extra sentences which we don't need to use, and we're going to mark the answers on a separate answer sheet. So some of the tips that we have for these parts of the exam is that the best way to prepare for the reading test is to read. So we have to read a lot to be prepared. And if we don't know what the options have the same meaning, neither can be answered. If we have to remember to read the title because the title of the text is very important also. So we are not going to lose time trying to think the answer of the examples, and we have to be very careful with the prepositions and the grammar structure of the text. So that would be for this part.
Hello teacher, my name is Fernando Villasis, and finally I am going to talk about the final part, or the part number 7 of the test. Well, in this part we're going to read a newspaper article about a young professional footballer for questions 43 to 52, and we're going to choose from the sections A to D, and the sections may be chosen more than one answer. In this part, first we have to mark our answer on a separate answer sheet, and after on the answer sheet of the test. Well, the tips that I can give you for this part of the exams are: your job or our job is to find synonyms if a word is involved in the test and question is probably not the answer. That wouldn't be much too easy. When we're practicing this part of the exam, we're going to underline the part of the test that you think match the questions. Then when your teacher asks you why you choose that answer, you're able to tell him. This will help him diagnose your made mistakes. If you're training along, underlining your reasons will help you see why you made mistakes. And finally, a lot of questions are both people's thoughts and feelings, so learn as much as the vocabulary as possible. For example, make sure you know words like regret, accuse, or reassure. Thank you.